Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your February 20th to the 28th, 2022 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Cancer, February 20th to 28th, 2022, Cancer. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. 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 At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. Well, the top, the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Tower, which is not a bad thing. Don't get worried. It just means that things have fallen apart. And in everybody's life, things do not go the way that we have planned. So that makes perfect sense. And then we have us, Cancer. We have us represented by the Chariot. We're represented by the Chariot in the major arcana. We're represented by the Cups in the minor arcana. So the very essence of ourselves are coming forward. We're moving forward from a very tremendous change. Then we have the Ace of Coins in the public arena. God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift of prosperity, which is lovely, or a seed is being planted within us. Then we have the Knight of Cups. So we're moving forward here in our inward self as a warrior for what we desire, for the way that we move forward in a sense of connecting with what we want. Our emotional self, we have the Hangman. We're starting to see things very differently than we have before. And we have Strength card, which is Leo energy. So if we're born on the cusp with Leo, or we have Leo within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully right here. And there's a sense of moving in the strength of who we are and what we want, being very mindful that strength is not physical strength. It's not being, as, physically strong as possible, though that is a form of strength, but it's being mindful. It's not the brute force strength that we see in the world. It's kind of like, I will force this to be done. It is the strength of understanding, and it's the strength of compassion. It is the strength of connection. And we're also having an ally come in that we didn't expect, like something is coming forward that we hadn't expected before. We have the Chariot coming through again in the public arena. We're very much showing up for ourselves during this time, which is really quite nice. And then we have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is very much being aware of the energy of fighting. So we're defending in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It is a person standing and fighting against 6 other wands as they stand up on the higher ground. What we have to be mindful of is how much energy are we wasting fighting? How much time is being wasted fighting? Why do we feel that we have to be on the defensive? And that's going to be something that just needs to be acknowledged during this time, because it can be for very legitimate reasons. We are feeling defensive, or we have to like guard what we're doing, or we have to move things forward in a certain way. And it can also be for like, just because we've always been in that state of, I have to defend this, I have to make sure this moves forward. And what if it's like, I can calm down now, I can enjoy things? How do we let that emotion in when it's been so far into us for so long? So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is Aquarius energy. We need to be mindful of people manipulating our dreams, or our dreams, kind of taking over our reality. It's kind of like we want this so much that we will this to be true, even if it's not. It's kind of like Cinderella's stepsisters trying to fit their foot into the shoe. In the original Cinderella story, they cut off parts of their foot. One cuts off the front, one cuts off the back. And it's like, it's not going to work. Why are we forcing it? Why are we causing ourselves that trauma to force it? So just be mindful of this. All things happen in divine timing, which is so annoying to hear. But every time, me personally, every time I thought I knew more than the divine, I thought, okay, you know what? Stop being so whimsical, or stop being so this, or stop being so that. Stop being the essence of who I am, and do things the way everybody else does it. Everything just fell apart. It fell apart. So here it's looking at our dreams, and it's accepting ourselves. And it's knowing that divinity has a plan. And that's going to be really important for us. It moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is dream. This is the third eye chakra, which is what our singing bowl is set to. And here, dreams are coming forward. We're going to be getting a lot of messages, a lot of insights through our dreams. And that's going to be very important for us. Now, let's talk about this time astrologically speaking, because it's like everything happens on one day. So we have, on the 23rd of February, we have Mars sextile Neptune. So this is a day where we find that there's a certain something in the air. There's a charisma that is really drawing us in. There's a passion to us. Everybody has this, but there's a spark to this day. We're also going to find that we're much more idealistic and spiritually minded, and this makes it very important for us to seek out meaning within things. That's why the essence of ourselves is coming forward during this time. Now, on the 24th of February, we have a lot happening. We have Venus sextile Neptune. So this is another day where passion and sensuality are going to be guiding us forward. There's a huge amount of sensuality around the Mars sextile Neptune, and this is carried into the next day on the 24th of February. There's a charm to us, and it makes us more likely to get what we want. It makes us more likely to go after what it is that we want. We just have to remember that everybody has this charm to them. It's the planetary alignment. So we need to be wary of the charisma of others, of the sweet talking of others. And that's very much coming through in alignment with our dreams and what we want. This is a day when we need to feel love, and we need to share that caring, because so many people are going to be just aligning for themselves, and there's going to be a sense of not aligning for everybody else, not putting everybody else's responsibilities onto our shoulders, but in the sense of a calm radiation of love and peace, a calm essence of love guiding us forward. The 24th of February also has Mercury squared Uranus. Now, this alignment absolutely contradicts and contrasts with the alignment of Venus sextile Neptune. We are going to be a bit abrupt in our speech, a bit to the point, not a bit, we're going to be abrupt and to the point of almost being rude, or maybe even being rude. So just be aware of this, because we're going to be sitting there in the energy of Mercury, which is, I'm going to say things plainly to you. I'm going to talk and communicate and really move things forward. In the energy of Uranus, who can be the creative, scientific genius who thinks outside of the box. So our minds are busy working like a mile a minute, and we're going to just be blunt and to the point. And we have to be very mindful of this, because our bluntness can totally outdo the charm of the day. So just making sure we have a balance, that we are seeing what serves us best as we move forward in our words, and we're not embracing anger or or frustration. The 24th of February also has Mercury sextile Chiron. Now, this is a harmonious aspect that has us able to heal wounds and pains, not only for ourselves, but for others, but also has us looking at ourselves in a way that says, there's beauty in me moving forward. And that's what we really see here at our root with the Chariot and with the Tower. Things have crumbled, but because we are embracing this healing aspect of Mercury sextile Chiron, but we're embracing the healing aspect of ourselves, we're starting to see that we can move forward from pain, from trauma, from hurts, from disappointments in a way that we hadn't expected before, in a way that has us claiming us more and more and more. So the Tower, things have crumbled. In the Tower, things have fallen apart. And it doesn't have to be big. Everybody thinks the Tower time has to be just absolutely tremendous. It doesn't have to be. It could be something very quiet, but was emotionally very devastating to us. It could be a time like we could have graduated from a school. And I know this sounds so silly, but I've seen Tower times be when you graduate from a school and you're moving forward to the next and you lose that security of, that teacher, that friend, a teacher or a friend who had always been with us and now we're being separated, type of thing. And that can be very traumatic and nobody else knows it. We might not have shared it with anybody, but we carried that wound within us. We just have to be aware of this. We could be carrying this wound for 16 years. This could happen when we were 16. It doesn't matter when our foundation was shaken, when we felt like things started to crumble, and they could have continued to crumble all the time since that point. Because divinity has pushed us again and again and again out of our comfort zone every time we got our footing. And now we're starting to see ourselves, acknowledging our subconscious, what we long for inwardly, and our conscious, what we're going after in the waking world, how we move ourselves forward, what we want, what we desire. And it moves us to divinity really giving us a gift with the Ace of Pentacles, a gift of insight, a gift of ideas, a gift of prosperity that can blossom and bloom. How are we taking care of it? How are we working with it? How are we taking care of and working with ourselves? The Ace of Pentacles is about prosperity. It is about greater understanding. It is about a gift of wealth coming forward. And it can be a check showing up in the mail, yes, but it can also be an idea that blossomed forward, or it's like an investment, but it doesn't have to be that we made a financial investment. It's like, I put the time and the effort into this, and now it's growing. It's growing into something I hadn't expected. I'm listening to that intuition of myself and I'm seeing myself align with it. And it brings us to the Knight of Cups. It brings us to being a warrior for ourselves. The Knight is the warrior. It is the protector. It is the person who goes and gets things done. We're having a clear message being sent to us. It is around our prosperity. It is not around the hoarding of money, like hide your money under a rock type of thing. It is around the planting of gifts, the planting of seeds, the planting of what we desire. And then we're going to start to see this grow. We're going to start to see ourselves grow. And it brings us to this place where we just start to see things differently than we have before. We have to be very mindful of energy trying to bully us into moving forward in one certain way. I kind of see it very much as like, a sheepdog, biting the heels of a sheep to get them to go one way. Yes, you might think that's the best, and maybe that's not the best analogy because it's like, okay, the sheepdog has to do that to keep the sheep safe. But what we're going to see here is that there's an energy around us that's pushing us in one direction, and that's not right for our souls or for ourselves. And so we have to acknowledge that, and we have to move forward in a direction that surprises us. It surprises us, the knowledge that guides us. It surprises us, the passion that leads us. And as it does so, we find that we have an ally that we hadn't expected. We have somebody on our side that we just might not have even been in the sphere of that consciousness before. And so here there's strength within our heart, and trusting that heart and looking at things differently than we have before. And as that opens up, we see ourselves again. And here the Chariot says journey and success and progress. And what we have to always remember, Cancer, is that the charioteer was the wealthy, powerful person. It wasn't, some, schmuck, driving a chariot. It was a wealthy, powerful person moving themselves forward. And so we have that power. We have that wealth to us. And I do apologize if you can hear my nephew. There is a sense here of prosperity guiding us. There is a sense here of, wealth and understanding leading us. We are falling into alignment with who we are. And it might not be every single day that we have this joy, we have this radiance leading us forward, but it is right now that we are embracing that and that we are seeing it within ourselves. There are moments, there are glimpses of it within the public arena. We're also starting to really show up for ourselves, and that changes the game. And as that changes the game, it leads us to the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands here says challenges and courage. There are challenges that come forward, but they make us courageous. It is a sense of what I am defending, but we also have to be very mindful of getting into the habit or getting into the energy of I always have to defend this. I always have to, fight for this, because what Spirit is saying is that life can become an endless battle without clear winners, but always with drained energy and like a broken heart. So we have to be very mindful of this during this time, because it can be very upsetting to us to always sit there and feel like it's fight or flight, feel like I have to fight for this. I have to, work for this. I have to push this forward. And so that's going to be something we need to be aware of during this time, that as we are looking at ourselves, as we are embracing ourselves, as we are, going after what we want, that it's not about the fighting. It is about the understanding of us as an individual. It is about the saying that there is more here than meets the eye to me. And we have the star right above us. It's like, this is my northern light. This is my guiding star. This is the energy that gets to be a part of me, that gets to lead me forward. And as we do this, we're looking at the subconscious energy that we have to be mindful of. We have to be mindful that we define success only in one way, and that we listen to people who have a very narrow definition of success. When we have the King of Pentacles is claiming prosperity and wealth. We can be looking at things, especially in accordance to our dreams, and looking at people who we say, oh, wow, they're successful. Oh, wow, they're prosperous. I'm going to do things exactly the same way that they are. And what we have to realize is that that can also mean a compromise of what's truly important to us, of what we truly value. Because we can be looking at people who might not even be in the same kind of field that we want to be in, and taking their way of seeing things and saying, oh, but that is like gospel truth. That is how it has to be. And that's going to be something that's going to be very detrimental to us, because we're going to kind of extinguish our own light. And that's going to be something we have to be mindful of, because what we're being told here is to look at our dreams, to look at what we desire, not let ourselves be pushed down, and to be able to step forward, to be able to say, people have doubted, people have had thought I would never, and now I'm embracing and growing a prosperity that is just breathtaking. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is creativity. This is the sacral chakra. It's letting the creativity out, even though we hold a lot of doubts and fears in our sacral chakra. Doubts and fears from this life, from past lives. It's a very much a sense of I am looking at who I am and who I was. And I'm embracing my creative energy. I'm embracing my sensual energy. And I am moving forward in creating not only, what I desire in the waking world, but creating myself, creating the energy I need to move forward in. It moves us to our subconscious rooted self. And it's the High Priestess. The veil is being lifted from our eyes. We're starting to see things more clearly, more openly, more honestly than we have before. There's also very much a sense of this is traditionally right for me, meaning this is a part of my tradition, of my inner self, not a dogma that I follow, not a societal decree that I need to walk in, but this is what is right for me. Very much look at it as the Oracle of Delphi, which we can argue, okay, might not have had any sort of, of power to her, but so many people thought she did. And so here, we're looking at that Oracle of Delphi, who people from all over the ancient world went to hear their prophesied future. And it was spoken in rhymes. It was spoken, no, not in rhymes, in riddles. But I keep on hearing rhymes when it comes to the High Priestess here. There's something about a melody. There's something about a beat. There's something about a music, a flow, an understanding that's going to come forward during this time. And I don't know what it is, but I just see it. I just see it coming in. And it's like, oh, that's it. Or it's like, it almost sounds like a child's tale, like a child's rhyme that is being said, and something is held within it that has more meaning than we originally thought. And that's going to be very powerful for us. And I don't know exactly why. The High Priestess looks at things and sees it with a clarity that we ourselves aren't always privy to, or aren't privy to very often at all. The high priestess has the veil lifted from our eyes as we see ourselves, but the high priestess also has the veil lifted as we see the rest of the world, as we see others. And so there's a sense of honesty here that is really quite profound. It leads us to our subconscious inner self, and we follow the tower. Something is crumbling down. One way of seeing things, one way of being. There's a sense of the walls have crumbled, kind of like the walls of Jericho have come crumbling down. Now it is time for us to move forward. Now it is time for us to see something more. And that's going to be complex for us because it has been a painful journey. It has been an overwhelming journey at times. And again, this could be a quiet inner pain that nobody else gets, but it is a powerful understanding that is absolutely a part of us. And so the tower moves us forward. The tower brings us into a place of change. And that change is so profound, and it's what we're finding comes out, the wealth comes out of, that we're finding, the strength comes out of during this time. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self, and that is the tower. The tower is taking that leap of faith. It is knowing that, yes, I can be seen as a fool, as foolish, as somebody who doesn't know. But yet, I'm embracing the strength and the power that is me, and I'm embracing that with understanding, with grace, and with dignity for myself. This is time to leap. This is the time to leap towards what is needed, what we want, what we desire within our lives. And as we do so, we start to find ourselves, we start to see ourselves, we start to understand ourselves. We will fall. That's what happens when we leap. Our feet have to come back down onto the ground. But now it is time to let ourselves move forward and to know, as is always said with the Fool card, every single hero's journey begins with being seen as a fool, with people laughing and mocking and not understanding. Maybe even we laugh and mock at ourselves. It was so funny. I was doing something. This was a while ago. And I just kept on hearing, Sarah laughs, Sarah laughs. And I thought, okay, I had read something about Sarah in the Bible that was all about her laughing, how she pushed back her own dreams. But that was years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, don't laugh at what it is that you deeply want. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like, don't laugh at what it is that you deeply want, because it is you yourself that is denying your dream, which makes perfect sense, right? And it's probably something that is said about Sarah when people talk about her, all the time. But it's like she laughed at something that was so precious to her that it's almost like she didn't dare believe it could be true. Let us not laugh at ourselves. Let us not laugh at something that is so precious to us, that we need to connect with, that we greatly desire. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self, and that's the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is strength and support and boundaries, and strength and support and boundaries, repeated around like a mantra. We need to have strength within ourselves. We need to support our way forward. We need to have clear boundaries, because the Nine of Wands, we're tired. We're tired of the fighting. We're tired of the chaos. We're tired of the hurt and the pain and the disappointment. We cannot listen to what everybody is saying. We need to listen to those who truly care for us, most definitely. But everybody else, they can keep their opinions to themselves. We hold true to what is right for us. We support ourselves, and we see ourselves rise higher and higher and higher because of that support and because of that brilliance. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this time, but also as we know that there is beauty, power, and wisdom coming through our dreams that is leading us to something grand. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. move forward in peace and in harmony, Cancer.